Hey there, everyone. We're gonna look at something a bit different today. I wanted to do Agarest 2, but that's gonna take me a bit longer because it's a very slow burner and I need to get farther. I've put several hours into it already, but I need to do more before I make a video on it. So we're gonna do a little bit of a smaller video this time. This is a game called Hangeki. Hangeki! And I think it's kind of unfair that I've not seen much about this game almost anywhere, really. This is kind of one of those hidden gems of Steam that was overshadowed almost immediately upon its release and just not... It's not like it hasn't gotten the attention, but it just hasn't gotten very much, and I think it's actually pretty special, so let's get into it. Alright, what is Hangeki? Hangeki is a shooter, a 2D bottom-up shooter. You know, Galaga, I guess, that kind of thing, only much more difficult and very hectic. It's not quite a bullet hell, although it has bullet hell elements. It isn't one because it doesn't play like one, and if you try and play it like one, you'll fail miserably. In a bullet hell, you generally move very slowly on purpose, and kind of avoid patterns of bullets at very slow speeds to try and, you know, dodge and weave through very complex, intricate patterns. And this one you need to be moving very, very quickly, and there aren't really patterns as much as they're just screens of random shots. Moving slowly is very bad, you'll just die, and also, interestingly enough, you need to always be shooting something. In almost any shmup ever, you're shooting all the time, and in this case you are too. There's not even a shoot button, your ship just fires. But in almost every other shmup, the idea is you want to be shooting all the time no matter what. In this case, you actually want to be hitting all the time, as much as you can, which is why you have to be moving quickly, because in a bullet hell you tend to move quite slowly, and your bullets aren't generally hitting a boss per se, like 80% of the boss fight. In this case, that's very bad, because part of the weapon system means that you need to be hitting almost all the time to build up the meter you use for your weapons, and missed shots that just go off in the air and don't hit any enemies, will decrease your meter really quickly, so you almost always need to be moving very fast across the screen to make sure you're hitting enemies as much as possible. Let's jump in. This is a very, very strange one, because I've not seen very much of it at all, so these are the levels right now. Not a whole lot of levels, actually, but they're very, very replayable, and you're about to see why. And also, there are a lot of challenges, endless modes, and boss rushes, so let's just go to the first one first to show you. Stratosphere. So, you select your weapons. Your ship always has a basic shot that constantly goes off, but you'll be building up a combo meter during the game, and you'll have 4 different weapons you can choose, and you unlock these in different ways. So, let's see. I like the Triple Seeker on A. I like the Pulse Laser on X for this mission. It's a good one. On B, let's see. Each of these takes a different amount of meter. This only takes 1 level. These take 2. These take 3. 3 is the max you can get. Crystal Artillery. Deploys a ring of crystals. Can be aimed by moving all the crystals. That sounds interesting. I think I'll take that. And we'll do... Let's see. Shine Spark is hard to use. Starfall is really nice. We'll try Starfall Cascade. I do like the flavor. You have a lot of weapons with a lot of stats that you can mess with, and they even have little manufacturers. Like this was made by Frost Laboratories. This is made by Crystallix. This is made by Pulsar. I don't know why, but I love that stuff. Those are one of my favorite parts of the Armored Core games. Anyway, let's go with Starfall Cascade. And here we go. I'm not sure if I'll be able to play this while commentating, but we'll try. Get ready. Here's how this works. Alright, constantly moving, constantly shooting. The first screen of enemies, always in this case, doesn't hurt you, so yeah. Here we go. You want to do this as quick as possible, and you want to build up that's the Hangeki. That little meter at the very top of the screen, that's what you want to be building up. It's almost like a bomb, but you have an infinite number of them, and you want to use them to clear every single wave, because that's the goal of every wave, is to build up the Hangeki big enough to use it. And why that is because, as you might have seen earlier, or as I might have mentioned earlier, you always want to be shooting enemies. And what happens when the screen is almost devoid of enemies? It's going to take you forever, and you're going to be shooting nothing for a long time. And that is contrary to the actual mechanics of the game that say you basically must be shooting something all the time. You don't want to be hitting empty gaps. And so the idea is to quickly build up that meter at the top of the screen as fast as possible so you can use the Hangeki to clear the wave and move on to the next one. You always want to use it. You can't save it for the next wave. Once a new wave goes, the Hangeki is depleted. So it's not like it's a strategic bomb like in a lot of shmups. You want to use it every single wave, and in fact, it's the only way to kill the boss. You do enough damage to the boss to build it up, and there you go. So this is how the game goes, basically. As you can tell, it's very, very hectic. You want to be blowing up the different enemy types as quickly as possible, building up your meter. Those coins help to build up the meter. Build up the Hangeki, and go. On the bottom right, you can see how many waves to go until the boss, and on the top left, you can see how many lives you have. You actually have quite a few lives in each level, but they get much more difficult and hectic later on. And you're scored in a variety of different ways. You're scored in how long it takes you to actually clear the waves, and how many lives you lose. Now, the way the weapon unlock system works is you'll unlock one weapon for successfully completing a level without losing all your lives. And then every level also has a second weapon you can unlock by getting certain medals. The medals involve 1, beating the level, 2, beating the level under par time, and 3, beating the level without losing a single life. And those are cumulative, meaning you don't have to do them all at the same time. You can try level multiple times over with different weapon sets until you complete all of the objectives. The medal you get for each level is cumulative. You don't have to do all the objectives at once. So that's nice. Oh! Yeah, very hectic, very fast-paced game, trying to always avoid projectiles, build up the Hangeki to win. And now we're about to hit a boss fight. Alright, so this first level obviously is quite simple. It just kind of introduces you to the game. There is a small tutorial that you can replay at any time. Very simple, and teaches you quite nicely. I'm using a controller because I find it a bit easier, but the keyboard and mouse controls actually work just fine. And boss fight time. So the bosses do work in a more classic shmup sense that they tend to have various stages as you deplete their health. Each stage will change the way that your average boss will actually do its attacks. They will switch around and stuff like that, and they will get, oh, I lost a life. More difficult as you go, but this one's done for. Boom. That's a stage complete. There you go. Very fast-paced, really hectic. So we're gonna do one more stage for the video just because it's, you know, fun. And it even breaks down how many kills you got with your weapons and how many deaths you took from different types of enemy projectiles. And yes, running into an enemy will kill you. Alright, that's that. Let's see. Let's do another one. Let's do a harder one. Let's do Citadel, I think. Or, no, we'll do Speedway. Alright, so those little medals to the left, those silver things, those show you what you've done in terms of the level. So in this one, I haven't beat it under par yet, which is why my medal doesn't have those wings on it. And I don't think I've actually beaten it without losing a life either. So as you can see, there's those two symbols there above the description, that yellow burst and the purple bomb thing. Those are the weapons you get. The first one you get from beating it, the second one you get from building up your medal by completing the different objectives through multiple runs. And I haven't gotten the second one of this yet, so let's try it. Probably not going to get it, but alright. I like the triple seeker and the pulse laser. The strategy with these is, this one allows you to just get a wide swathe of enemies with one attack, and this allows you to reach farther up in the line of enemies to potentially difficult enemies that are deeper in that you can't reach otherwise, so that's nice. I want that crystal artillery again. I'm not a fan of the Starfall Cascade for a lot of levels, but I like the Gatling laser, so we'll do that. Boop. Those ones that take 3 meter are pretty difficult to build up enough meter to use, but once you are able to keep the combo going for longer, you feel pretty satisfied. I might have to show you those soon. So, what else is there to talk about the mechanics? Well, as you can see, you level up as you kill enemies, and leveling up unlocks your further weapons. As you can see, most of my weapons are locked right now. I have to level up to unlock them. But leveling up also upgrades the weapons you currently have unlocked. Upgrading the weapon makes them more powerful. They, will do more damage or reach farther or have a wider blast radius or, etc., etc. Ow, whatever it is that they do when they're upgraded. That's how you get it. And the game goes on like this. It's a fairly simple concept, and in execution it's done very, very well. Lots of enemy types, really fun and difficult bosses, and pretty satisfying levels that can be done quickly, but also have a good amount of strategy to them depending on what weapons you feel like bringing to the fight. Alright. Okay, it's really hard to do this while talking. Okay. Alright, we got it. No, we're fine. We got this. And obviously the goal for every wave is to get up to that Hangeki, clear the wave, and continue on without losing too many lives. That's a lot of lasers. That's generally speaking your main goal, but it can get more difficult than it sounds when they start introducing more complex enemy patterns and things of that nature that really do make it quite challenging to achieve. Boom! Alright, that crystal artillery thing is pretty sweet. The weapon variety is pretty impressive. There's like something about 50. They're unlocked from, of course, the stages in the campaign, as well as doing challenges. There are several ways to unlock the weapons, and a lot of different weapons to unlock, and although there aren't that many stages, I wouldn't be deterred by that too much, because as I said, they're very replayable. The weapons you use do make the stage feel different, because you have to use a different strategy every time. And there are a lot of challenges, which I'm obviously going to show you after I either die or beat the boss, whichever comes first. The game has a very, very slick presentation style, and I can't quite put into words how satisfying it actually is to move around and shoot. It's difficult to explain just how good it feels, but it does feel very good. It feels like, I guess like a more classic arcade shooter with that very smooth movement, and the controller vibration actually helps in my opinion, because it's a nice little bit of feedback you get whenever you hit nicely. There we go. But one thing to say to the game's possible detriment, depending on how good your focus is, there can be a lot going on screen at any given time, which can make it difficult for you to focus on the projectiles. It's really hard to do this while talking. But that's a problem with every shmup, and a lot of people would argue that that's part of the skill ceiling, that being able to focus on what's going on despite the myriads of bullets coming your way is a skill, and I tend to agree with that. Alright, the Iron Phoenix. Not my favorite boss to fight. It is not simple once it starts to move around a lot, because of course any contact will kill you, and it likes to fire off those little homing ball things. You can destroy them, but that takes time away from actually doing damage to the boss. That's where the Triple Seeker comes in handy. Oh, I had the Gatling laser going, but then I got dead. I'm not doing very well this time. Okay. Whoa! I forgot that it had that beam out the front. So, crap. I just focus, Tyler. It's a very interesting situation, because like I said, there's not been a lot of coverage for this game, and I feel that's really a shame. It's almost a crime, because the game itself is actually very, very fun and very well done. It actually gets updates fairly frequently with language packs. They even did a really large update not very long ago that actually replaced the sound effects of almost every weapon that you have to make them feel a bit different. And it did succeed in that it does make the weapons feel different. I'll give it that for sure. But yeah, it's a very interesting concept that isn't quite the same as a lot of classic shmup examples, things like Toho and things by Cave, but it's not your classic arcade shooter either. It's a very unique little hybrid between the two that I've never really seen before, and it's a crying shame that it hasn't gotten much coverage. It feels really satisfying to do. Let's show you some of the challenges here really quick. There's a lot of them. Just look at all the ones I have right now, but there's more than that. This might not seem like a lot, but there are more. And a lot of weapons to unlock as well. So yeah, it's It's a game that has a fairly significant amount of just play value in general. A lot of the weapons look really cool, by the way. And not to forget, there are extras this was thinking of. Yeah, there's a co-op option. You can play co-op. That other golden ship to the right there, yellow, orange, whatever you want to call it, another player can do that. I believe it's local only, but you know, that's how it works. So Hangeki, ladies and gentlemen, a very nice, short, sweet little video. Very hectic, very interesting, and on Steam now for a pretty good price. I would suggest checking it out if you like shmups or anything of that sort, and especially if you have someone to play it with, but even solo, it's a lot of fun. Crying shame. I've not seen much about this, and it is really smooth, very nice feeling, great visual and auditory feedback with all the weapons. Fun levels, the bosses are challenging as you saw, even though I was sucking really badly, and I think the whole package is something that shmup fans can really enjoy, because there aren't a whole lot of good commercial shmups out there. A lot of them are free stuff, or just very difficult to get a hold of. This is one on Steam right now that you can get, and I recommend it. So, thanks for watching, everyone. Hangeki. Any questions, comments, feel free to subscribe if you want to see more videos, and Agaris 2 hopefully coming somewhat soon. I'm trying to get through more of it to actually show you more of the game. It's actually quite a complex game mechanically, so there you go, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.